Christchurch swim school owner says she's so fed up with dealing with her insurance company, she's considering abandoning her home and her business and declaring herself bankrupt. Chrissy Tukaki runs a swim school from her home, specialising in swim lessons for children who are intellectually and physically disadvantaged. Her home and pool were repaired after the quakes, but Chrissy says the work was substandard, and she was told in December 2014 it would need to be demolished and rebuilt. 2 years on, she's no further along, and she told our reporter Rachel Graham she's run out of money to keep fighting tower insurance.
The pool was replaced and the building was repaired, and the repair is now a demolition and rebuild. The pool is wrong, the measurements are wrong, and I've been fighting with the builders, the insurance company, Stream Group for coming up 5 years. There's been 3 new sets of concept plans for the new design, and they have now told me that I have to go back to my neighbours and get the resource consents all over again because they've made a mistake in the footprint. So where we're at right now is I have told them I will not go and get them. You made the mistake, and I've been told you will do as you're told. You are the customer. You need to do it.
So you had, so they initially agreed to repair your pool. That work was done, yes. And yet after that happened, you were always unhappy with it, were you?
They said they would repair it. I said it needs replacing. I was told you will take what you're given. Now the first meeting was 5 years ago today, since I sat down with Tower and Stream and the builder and the pool builder, that they had chosen, and I protested. I had my own builders, 2 brothers, one builds pools, one builds buildings. They put a quote in and it was ignored, and they just went ahead with the 2 builders.
And you were always unhappy with the level of work?
I've got emails going right back to the very beginning where they said they'd have the pool completed in 3 weeks, and it took over 3 months to complete a pool shell, and then it was all wrong.
And so did it take some time for you to convince them that actually they needed to start again?
They took no notice until I got an IBIS builder's report in, and then they acknowledged that the whole building needed to be demolished and rebuilt. There was no engineers, no geotechs, no electricians. They collapsed the land, all the cables were underneath, that all had to be done. There was asbestos, sewage, and still they were saying we're doing fine.
And so now that they've finally agreed to actually rebuild, so they finally agreed to rebuild it, how long ago was that, and what's happened since then?
December 2014. And they've got architects that have never done a commercial pool before.
So how, and so we're getting years on, and you still haven't actually got a concrete plan for what's happening. No. What does this do to your business? How does this affect your business?
Well, I've had to halve the numbers I have through because of the safety issues with the surface on the pool, and the circulation isn't fast enough, and it's got inadequate jets and filtration. The roof is white instead of the dark green one we had. We had problems with children swimming on their backs, so I've had one staff.
So that's to do with glare?
Yes, one staff member's had a cataract extraction done, and another one has had her eyes relasered, and I really am wondering if that is to do with them working under this duress for 4 years.
And so what's it like for you? Is this a stressful experience for you?
It's a nightmare. It's destroyed my life. It's absolutely destroyed my life, my business, my health, my mental health. I'm on antidepressants and probably will be for a long time. And last week I was so desperate because they were still saying to me, you will do as you are told, that I seriously considered just abandoning and going bankrupt. And I can't see any other way out unless they start treating me with respect and acknowledge that I know about these things.
And so what would you say to Tower if they're watching? What do you want to say to them?
I would say to Tower, read the reports for yourself rather than take Stream Group's word for it, because they are telling you what they think you might know. That they need to read the Ian Coombs assessment, the Mayfair Pool's assessment, that both say the pool does not comply in any way commercially and it needs to be taken out.
So that's about listening to the customer, listening to you as a client.
Not listening to me at all.
So what does Tower Insurance say in response to that conversation? Well, they're sorry to hear Chrissy is considering filing for bankruptcy. They say large-scale improvements to her pool area mean the council has requested further planning permits. It says the next step is to go to tender and engage a builder. Tower says it's been in touch with Chrissy and has arranged to talk through her concerns with her tomorrow morning. We will update you on what happens.